What is up, Copy Squad? Coming to you live from Delray Beach, Florida. And I have had a moment of reflection over the last couple days. And by that, I actually mean the last 24 hours, not even the last couple of days. I think if you saw yesterday's video, basically I got a pretty stern challenge about like my legitimacy as a copywriter. I said I was just going to address it and be done with it, but here I am still talking about it. It's kind of got like a carryover effect, and I want to take lemons, turn it into lemonade. And so I was kind of thinking about this request. Basically, it says, Kyle, show us your original copy and just prove that you wrote it and it wasn't rewritten by a copy chief. Which on the surface definitely makes sense. Totally understand the question. I wasn't mad about it. But it also shows like sort of like the naivete of the question. What up, Rally? Is it Rally? Did I say it right? So yeah, it kind of shows the naivete of the question itself, because the process is a little more sophisticated than I write a promo and I submit it and someone either rewrites it or approves it, thumbs up, thumbs down. It's not like that. So I started to kind of think about the promo I'm working on right now. I've been working on one since November, kind of developing the big idea and then creating the promo. And again, I wrote the whole promo. Like, it's one of those things, but it is kind of a team effort. And I kind of want to go over that process with you, because I think that some folks think that you should kind of, hold your big ideas very close and keep them secret and not share them. And it's almost like the exact opposite. In fact, it's such a silly assumption that I would do this completely on my own, or write any copy on my own, when I work at something like Agora Financial with the smartest, biggest money-making, most successful marketers and copywriters in the world. Of course I wouldn't go alone. Like, that's just, it would not make sense to me. Like, why would I do that? Why even work at Agora Financial if I'm not going to share the idea and try to get feedback from the best professionals out there, right? So the fact that someone thinks I go down, I just write this whole promo, I submit, and one guy says yes or no or rewrites it, that just shows that that dude doesn't understand the complexity of a machine as large as Agora Financial. So let's kind of talk about that, right? I also had like a really cool parallel moment to what I've been doing with this promo. So I've been working on this promo since November for a new project for James Altucher, and I'm really excited about it. I'm gonna share it basically like the day it goes live, right? And hopefully it's successful. But what am I trying to say here? But yeah, when I first started, I was just sharing the idea with everyone I could, okay? And then my parallel moment was I've just started writing this book about the language of copywriting, right? And I've been sharing that idea on Facebook Lives as often as I could. And I think that really speaks to the process of writing a promo, developing a product, anything you're doing. And I think a lot of people think that this is the secret idea. Someone's going to steal my idea that copywriting is a language, and they're going to go write a book, and they're going to be famous, and everyone's going to get rich off my idea. And it's actually not like that, man. It's like almost the polar opposite. And it comes back to this whole age-old idea of scarcity versus abundance, right? It's like I could give you everything you need in the whole wide world to write a number one A-lister promo, and it's really up to you to go do it. And most people don't take action, and most people can't do it the way I do it. Like, your product will be different than my product. So it's really okay to tell you all these things and share this information for free, right? So the parallel moment was I had a title for the book, right? And I showed it like 2 or 3 videos ago, and I was like, hey, what do you guys think of this title, right? The converse way to go about the big idea thing was... if you want information on the book, you can go to kylethewriter.com/swipe, and I'll put you on my email list and talk to you about when that book's coming out. Yeah, so the converse way to approach that would have been to say, I'm not telling anyone about my book, or title, or anything like that, because they'll steal the title, right? Then they'll have the secret sauce, and they'll steal it, and then I won't get famous, and, then it'll all be over, right? It's totally opposite. So what I did is I shopped around my original title, which isn't that good, right? And it's also another thing about being like, am I going to be worried about coming off as dumb or not smart, or if someone will criticize my idea? So here was the original title. And this is I need to throw together one title idea. It says, it's not what you say, it's what you communicate. A step-by-step guide to quickly master the language of copywriting, automatically bypass logical barriers to hit customers' deepest emotions, and easily sell tons of your stuff. So I sent that to a group of some of my favorite people at Agora Financial, and I said, what do you guys think of this title? Now, this is important because this is the part of the process where you get a dialogue going about your idea. And you need to, it's sort of like people say, create an MVP, a minimum viable product. You need to put something out to the market and get the feedback, because it's very difficult to self-edit. It's very difficult to, do everything by yourself. So I put that title out to a group of people I trust that I know are intelligent and strong copywriters, and they basically said, okay, here's the problem. Too many long words, communicate doesn't really convey benefits. It doesn't speak to me. It's not really, and then we started dialogue, like, okay, what's wrong with this line? What's wrong with that line? What's wrong with this line? That's where these ideas come from. It doesn't come from me fucking being a genius, having a brilliant idea, going into a hole, writing a whole promo by myself, and then someone just gives it the thumbs up. It's not how it works. I'll get into the process of writing the promo in just 1 second. So then we had that idea, and then I came up with just another random idea off the top of my head. It's in the little print down there. You probably can't even see it. Very general and direct. How to become a great copywriter, a step-by-step guide to mastering the language of copywriting. I feel like that's very branded because that's kind of what I say on my channel all the time. And this is probably the one I'm going to go with. Headline 3, take their money. The take their money was a line that someone said, they don't want to communicate, right? The first headline was about communicating. They're like, they don't want to communicate. They want to take their money. And I was like, I like that. Take their money should be the damn headline, right? Okay, so guess what? I got that from somebody else, right? Oh my God, I'm not legitimate. So it says, take their money, discover the secret language that speaks directly to customers' deepest desires and forces them to empty their pockets, right? And again, I did not go into some brilliance cave and come up with that idea and I'm the sole creator of it. Why would I do that? I work at the best marketing financial publishing place in the world. Why would I take it all on my own shoulders? So the question is, how close do you hold your big idea to yourself? Who should you share it with, and when should you share it? That's kind of what I'm going to talk about here. So in the beginning stages, what you're going to do is you're probably going to have a sense that something is a big idea. You're going to say something like, I've noticed this trend. I don't know what the idea is, but there's something to it. All right? And then you're kind of just going to go start reading a lot about that thing, okay? And you're going to ask people, hey, have you noticed this trend too? Or have you seen this kind of coming? Or have you thought about it this way before? And what most people will do is they will never ask anyone else that question because they're terrified that that person's going to have a big idea before them, steal their big idea, and then go write the whole book or promo or whatever, okay? That's not how it's going to work. That person's got their own shit going on. They're not going to drop everything to steal your idea. So you go to some people you know are intelligent or market savvy, of course. You don't just, you can ask people, hey, have you noticed this, right? You can ask a regular person that, but that person can't help you chisel out your headline. So what you'll do is you'll do the whole thing where you'll test the market. So what I've done personally is I wanted to kind of the whole YouTube channel started with, I'm going to get myself more honest about reviewing more promos more frequently, so I'll do a YouTube channel and people will expect that of me. I've been testing the lives and they are crushing the 2-hour YouTube live streams in terms of viewership and subscribers. So I've kind of been like, okay, well, we're not going to do any more promo reviews, or not as frequently as we do these lives. So, but it started with okay, I'm going to do that. And then I started to find patterns while I was reviewing a lot of copy and stuff that I kind of developed a little system, and I started to say the system in the lives. Okay, this is my idea. I think it's this thing. I'm using a mnemonic device called NESB, New, Easy, Safe, and Big, okay, NESB, and I think that's a good idea. And I put that out there, man. I could have been like, ooh, I've got this secret sauce. I'm going to write a book about it, and I'm going to blow the world's mind. They're going to be so shocked, I'm going to be a millionaire. Exactly. New, Big, Easy, Safe. I had to change it to New, Easy, Big, and Safe because, I had to change it to New, Easy, Safe, and Big so that the NESB mnemonic device would work. It's not in any order, but yeah, exactly. There's a comment here that says New, Big, Easy, Safe if you're watching on YouTube and you're like, what the hell is he talking about? Anyway, so, okay, what a lot of people would do, and this is the mistake I made when I was writing novels, is I have this idea, I have this brilliant novel, I have this brilliant thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go do it. And this is how I actually ended up on copywriting, is I ended up going and doing it, not telling anybody about it, and then it sold 0, because no one knew about my idea, nobody cared about my idea, and I had no idea whether or not anyone would even be interested in my idea. So what I've been doing with this book is I've been shopping it to you. I've been saying, hey, what do you think about this? Do you think this is useful? Are you getting value out of this? Is this helpful for you? You're telling me, right? And then I'm taking your feedback, and I'm kind of like, I'm whittling it down to what seems to be most essential and most helpful. So I'm actually, this whole time, this entire like live thing that I've been doing for like 10 days has been giving you my big idea. I've been talking about my big idea with you. And that's that, right? Okay. So I get it. It's a big idea. People seem to like it. Now what's next? So at this point, I would begin having meetings. So if it was a promo, I would start having meetings with, I'd basically formulate a headline, right? It would be a bad headline, but I would be like, okay, this is my idea. This is my general idea. And I'd go to publishers, and I'd go to my copywriter friends that I trust and respect, copy chiefs, and I'd say, here's a headline. What do you think? And I'm talking like everybody. Like I'm shotgunning. I'm putting it in front of everybody, and I'm trying to get all the feedback I can. And now pay attention, because this is going to stop. Like this trend of doing the shotgun approach and asking everybody, you're going to see that it's going to pivot, and that's not going to be the case anymore very soon in this process. So here's how it happens. For the promo, I will say, I need a meeting with my copy chief, and I need to get like a good look at, will he support this? Will he be on board? And he'll say, yeah, I like the idea. It's not there, but it's a good idea, right? And that's what happened with this promo that I'm working on now. Is like, it's probably not going to work, but I see what you're doing and I appreciate it. Okay, it's all the buy-in you need, right? I just got to whittle it down to what works, what really is essential, and that's on me, right? I can get this feedback, but it's on me to come up with that headline and make it work. So you do that, and you meet with the publisher and be like, can we market this, right? And like, here's the idea, here's the strategy, here's what I think, and I'm sharing it with the publisher. Now I have to go to copywriters, and I have to share it with copywriters, and I have to try to see, okay, we've got this weird idea. Do you think we can make this more targeted for our audience, more top of mind, more specific? Tell me. Like, I do not claim to be an evil genius. I actually claim to be very lazy, and I just replicate what works. That's my whole system. My whole system is finding the patterns in copywriting that someone's already written, and then reverse engineering that so that I can just fill in the blanks with my own words. And that's what the whole book's going to teach you how to do. Go to kylethewriter.com/swipe if you want more information on the book when it's coming. I think it's going to be ready in like a week. I'm on like page 26 of revisions today. I'm really excited about it. Anyway, so yeah, I am not like some solo dolo evil genius, dude. That's not even how it works. So then the next thing I do is I get the buy-in from everybody. Then I go read a lot more. I go read and read and read. That's for the promo, right? I try to figure out the research and the angle. Like, okay, so this missed. And for the book title, what missed was the word communicate. Like, nobody cares about communicating. Nobody cares about, like, where's the results in this title? Like, I had to put something bleh out there and get someone to tell me whether this is fun or exciting or, enticing or not, okay? Then I basically I have all that feedback now, right? Now the part comes where I stop listening to people. I have all their feedback. I have everything that, they said this is the reason this idea will or will not work. Now it's time to start shutting people out, okay? I take all that feedback to heart, and I have the checklists and all that stuff. Like, okay, this could or could not work. Now I basically narrow it down. For this last promo, it was just the copy chief, which Ryan McGrath's my copy chief for this one, and I'm really excited about that. He didn't rewrite 80% of the promo. I think he may have written like 1 or 2 lines, and I'm not going to send you the original doc. Let me tell you something. I'm going to do a quick little analogy for you. Imagine I'm having my birthday party, right? I'm having a big birthday party with bouncy houses and a carousel and free cake and ice cream, and anybody can come. All you got to do is show up and have a good time. And then some random person I've never met, all right, imagine it's your birthday party. Some random person you've never met, and you're giving him free cake and ice cream and carousel, shows up to your birthday party and says, bullshit, show me your birth certificate. Bro, I'm offering you a good time. Like, have a good time if you want. Don't come over here and tell me what I have to do for you. Like, whew, get out of the birthday party. Go home. If you're not having fun, go home. It's a free birthday party, cake and ice cream and carousel. Do you see the weirdness, the madness of that? It's insanity. Anyway, so you've got like your feedback from everyone, right? And you kind of put out the title, see what everyone says about the title. Let me know what you think about my title called Take Their Money from earlier. I'm interested to hear your feedback on that. And then once you have the idea that, okay, this is what the thing was missing, I need to convey, now it's time to start shutting people out. Now you need to start getting it down to like 1 to 2 people you massively respect. And like I said, for me, that was my copy chief, Ryan McGrath. He's the only person I'm going to talk to about this from here on. I heard what everybody else said. I understand the perspective we have to reach, and I understand the challenges of presenting this big idea. Now I'm going to go figure out how to solve it. So I came up with a way, all right? And I say, Ryan, do you think this way will work? And then me and Ryan have like a 45-minute conversation on the phone. Like, okay, I see how this way could work. Here's the objections that you're going to face because people are going to question this part of your idea. And then we hash it out. It's got to be like one person you thoroughly respect and thoroughly will listen to. And he says at the end of that conversation, these are all suggestions. You do not have to do all this stuff. It's totally on you, right? It's your promo. You're the one who like will either sink or swim on it. So that's how it works at Agora. Like, you hear some suggestions, take them or leave them, okay? So then what happens next? All right, so you do work closely with your copy chief, depending on like how senior or how rookie or new you are. So what I do is I basically formulate a head and lead. That's like their Take Their Money is a great title. It sounds very evil genius-y. I know, right? It's pretty cool. I'm glad you like it, though. Thank you. Yeah, so what I do first is I create a head and lead, okay? So we're step-by-step piecemealing this and making sure that we're on the right track. So the head and lead will be like the, what do you call it? It'll be like the expression of the idea, kind of like sell you in the lead on where this letter is going, right? So I write the head and lead, it could be about 2 to 7 pages, somewhere in that range, and I send it to the copy chief. I say, copy chief, does this look like we're on the right track? And the copy chief generally says, yep, doing good, keep working. What Ryan did was, yep, remember when you're writing, and this is this is the give and take of it. And this is also why it's so ridiculous to ask for my original copy. Because then Ryan will say, look, I like all this stuff. Remember that whenever you're doing this, focus on the stock teas, okay? Don't get too far away from the fact that we're trying to sell an opportunity here. I want you to do a better job of tying that in while you're going forward, which is great feedback. You'll even see on my Instagram is all99Kyle, ALL99Kyle. I put up a photo where I accidentally left a comment. I left one of my own comments on my doc, on my Word doc, and it was like, tie this to the fucking stock teas or something like that. I was like reminding myself so I don't forget. But that's how it works, man. I send him like 7 pages. He sends me back like his feedback, like this is good. Then what happens next, right? I basically go all the way through and I scribble out a rough draft as fast as possible, basically, and then I take like 2 days to revise that draft. Okay, and when I feel pretty comfortable with it, I send it back to Ryan. I say, okay, here's where the lead, you helped me with the lead, I took your advice, and I wrote it out to make sure it matched that lead. Okay, and again, the point of this conversation is to tell you who do you share your info with and who do you talk to. I think the farther down the line you get, the less people you talk to. And I'll explain that in just a second. So, Ryan sees the first draft. He says, okay, great. So all this looks good. I noticed that in these sections, let's say it's the exact same advice. In these sections, you didn't tie it to the stock teas as well. You need to get more tighter on your copy. You seem to kind of get off the track a little bit here. And I say, okay, that's good advice. I go back and rewrite some of that. Occasionally, yeah, he'll insert like an actual line or two into the copy. So that happens. It's not a big deal. Yo, what up, my man? Says Dan Westbrook. Dan, what's up, bro? I hope you're enjoying this video and you're getting a lot of free value at my free birthday party. You gotta watch the beginning of the video to understand that joke. Anyway, so I'll rewrite the draft and I'll send it back to Ryan. And Ryan will be like, wow, great, this is good, I like it, super cool. Let's go talk to the publishers now. So we'll go sit down with the publishers, and this is where you have to get extremely... now we're opening the funnel back up to talk to more people, but we still have to keep our suggestion box very narrow. Before, I was asking everybody for feedback. Like when I had a headline, and that's basically all I had, feedback from everybody. Like, tell me what this resonates, how this resonates with you. Feedback from everybody. Big funnel, big funnel. All right, as we get the idea narrowed down, I started taking feedback. I close it off. All right, I got everything that you said. That's it. You're done. You had your chance to say something. That's it. I'm taking this information, and I'm going into the hole, and I'm going to write my head and lead. So I go into the cave, I write the head and lead, I send it to somebody like a copy chief, someone who's actually really experienced. Like, you want someone who's been doing this for like years and years and years to look at this and tell you that this is actually very good, or you could improve here, etc., right? So already, like, How can I send you a full draft that I wrote and someone said, yeah, or rewrote it? That's not how it works. So we kind of go back and forth in this process, right? And you can send it earlier than the whole draft or later. So then now we've got to get fulfillment. It's called fulfillment. Like, okay, I've got this offer section. I want you to be able to send people who sign up this box of stuff or this software package or this or that. And I go to the publishers. I go to a publisher, associate publisher, and the guru, which would be James Altucher himself. And I say, James, what do you think of this? Is this something that you think you would be able or happy to offer them? Because I wrote it in the promo, right? Would you be able to do this or want to do this? And he says, yep, I'm down with that. Or what could happen is they start to say, well, that seems a little more difficult. Let's do it like this. And at that point, you kind of have to get like, you take what they offer, but you kind of have to get like very selective about what you take in. And a lot of people who are going to be reading the copy for the first time are going to have ideas. That's where it's got to be very narrow. Like, you've opened the funnel back up for other people to comment, but if there's nothing like structurally, there's nothing like an impassable thing, be very cautious about whose ideas you let in, because what will happen is your golden thread, your tight copy, will unravel very quickly when you have too many cooks in the kitchen, okay? So when you get too many cooks in the kitchen and people all have these great ideas, they're all good ideas, but they don't necessarily feed into your golden thread, and things can get in disarray very quickly. So you start off showing everybody in the headline. You show it to your copy chief when you've got a lead, and the copy chief will give you some direction. You write the promo, okay? Then you come back with the first draft to the copy chief. Copy chief sits on it for like 2 or 3 days, sends you back feedback, comments, edits. Generally, they don't rewrite 80% of the promo, which is ridiculous. Okay, so there's that, and then now you open the funnel back up and you start talking to people again. Okay, how do you guys like what actually came of this idea? You talk to them about the original headline. It was kind of bleh. Now you got the final product. It's polished, more polished at least, and you say, okay, does this idea work? Can we make this work? And everyone's going to say yay or nay. It's a big moment of truth, but generally you should be on the right track because you took in so much feedback right at the start. So on that note, all right, so let's talk about me again. All right, let's get, how am I putting this into practice? So I am writing that book, right? So the book, if you want, you can go to kylethewriter.com/swipe and get informed when that comes out. So the book, I've showed you the title, right? I've showed everyone on the internet the title. And I'm like, I've showed my friends in copywriting land at Agora Financial. I've showed you. I'm getting feedback. I haven't really gotten a lot of in-depth feedback, but people seem to be okay with the title, Take Their Money, right? Which is pretty cool. So I might be good to go. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to write the book. I'm going to write the book. Well, it's written, right? I'm in revisions right now. So I'm going to spend 2 days rewriting the book. Once the book is done, I'm going to send the book to a handful of people, right? I already took in a ton of feedback when I first started, before I even got the headline, when I was starting about the big idea, because I've had the internet tell me what they think, all right? I've already had you guys tell me, hey, I like this new easy, safe, and big concept. I love the language copywriting. That could be a big idea. I shared it with the whole world. I didn't like pocket it and say, some bitch is going to write about my language of copy idea. No, man, no one's going to do that. And if they do, they'll never be able to do it like me anyway, because it's my idea. So I'm not worried about that, and you shouldn't be worried about that. Share your big idea and try to get that feedback. Then I've closed the funnel off. Like, none of you had any input on writing the actual book, right? Nobody gets to mess with me while I'm writing my drafts. So I write the book. Then what I'll do is I'll send it to a handful of copywriters, a couple gurus that we work with, because they are like best-selling authors and they know how to write good books. And then I'll take their suggestions and feedback, but I'll do it within the frame of like, does this actually help the book and the theme that I wrote and created? And if it doesn't directly serve into that golden thread, we call it, I will discard that suggestion, okay? That's how the copywriting process works. And it's so many of those little moving parts, and give and take and give and take. And I haven't even talked about submitting to legal compliance, which I will not have to do for the book, which is cool. But for our sales promos, where we have to make all these claims and promise all these things, we have to go through a legal compliance team, which will completely change the copy. And oftentimes it's for the worse. So it's kind of crazy that when you see some of this copywriting we've written, it's the watered down version, because we had to go through legal compliance thing and do a lot of hedges and disclaimers, and all that stuff kind of slows down the flow of the copy. But yeah, so I think that kind of expands upon what this process actually looks like, right? It's it's why it takes from November to today. Like, my promo is just now getting the sign off from the publisher and James, the copy chief, and I, right? And I pitched it at our holiday party in late November. It was like November 17th or something like that, right? And today it's January 19th. So that's how long it takes, man. And it's just, it's complicated. A lot goes into it, man. That's why we're so successful. And it would be asinine. It would be utterly ridiculous for me to try to do this 100% on my own. Why work at Agora Financial if I'm just going to be a freelancer at heart, or work on my own, or try to ignore everybody's feedback when I'm working with the best people in the world? That's scarcity at its finest, right? That's scarcity. No, I share my idea with everybody, and the proof is in the fucking pudding, because I've been showing my idea to everybody online. I've been talking about my idea behind my book. I've been showing everyone the title, and then when it's time to write the book, cool, I got your guys' feedback, I appreciate and love it very much, I'm going to go write my book now. So I go write the book. Now I'm going to give it to a couple people I trust. I'm going to open the funnel up just a little bit to get those suggestions on where things might be slow, confusing, or not very good at explaining my ideas, something like that. And then I'll make those edits, right? Okay? I think that's all I got for this one, guys. I really appreciate all of you so much. And again, like, I'm here to provide, this is free stuff. Like, if you buy the book, great. If you don't think I'm a trustworthy resource, don't buy the book. And if I, for some reason, make you angry, don't watch the videos. Like, if you get angry enough to lash out at me in comments, dude, you don't even have to, I welcome you, but you don't have to. You don't have to be here. There are other gurus if you want to follow other gurus. There are other gurus. There are other dudes selling copywriting courses who have never worked in a copywriting niche. Or as a job in a copywriter. So it's like, I see it. I get it. There are people doing that. Go follow them or whatever. I don't care. I don't know. I'm rambling. I always do this at the end of my videos. I need to get a cool sign off. Go to kylethewriter.com/swipe and check out my email list if you're interested in information about the book. I'm not halfway through revisions. And I'm actually trying to go back and add like scientific studies and stuff that prove my points. And I'm adding like real copy and like going back to my swipe file and grabbing snippets of copy that prove my points so that you can actually see it in action. And I think that's going to be so helpful. It's like, it's one thing to talk about it, but when I can show you the copy, it's going to help. I definitely appreciate everyone. Thanks for tuning in, Copy Squad. You know I got nothing but love for you. All right, take care, guys.